Go ahead, Brian.
Good morning, Milwaukee. Brian Sanders here with Tamika Vukovic on WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio. Good morning.
That was good job.
Thank you.
We have to take care of business first and foremost. Happy birthday, Mr. Debo.
Debo, happy birthday.
Now let's talk about.
I want to know about the
Did you
celebration.
turn up yesterday?
That's what I want to know.
Very, very little. Very little. Yeah.
Why are you looking kind of sleepy today, though?
I'm tired.
Yeah, that's the
okay.
turn-up.
That's
That
what I
was the turn-up.
mean.
Yeah.
What'd you?
Nothing special.
What was the birthday meal though? I don't care about nothing else.
We
that
had
anybody do.
lasagna. We had fried chicken, meatballs, mashed potatoes. You know, meatballs with the gravy, mashed potatoes, garlic bread to go with the lasagna. Pretty much, ham, sliced ham.
Sound like it was a party.
I'm hungry though, but ain't nobody. You got some
No.
leftovers?
No, actually.
He said no before I could even get the question out. He's like,
about
no,
that lasagna.
no.
They walked
no,
through
no.
four pans of lasagna.
Ooh.
4 pans, 4 of them.
We wasn't invited.
Maybe next time.
You were invited. It was on the radio.
Oh, we missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
happy birthday,
Thank
and you don't
Thank
look
you.
a day over 22.
I'll pay you later for that. I'll pay you later.
That's what we're supposed to do. I am so happy to be with you guys. Again, as Brian said, I'm Tamika Vukovic, co-executive director of Wisconsin Voices. Latoya is off today. Joe is off today.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried to convince Nicole to come on the show.
Yeah, what happened with that?
She ran. First of all, she hid around the office so I couldn't find her. And then once I found her, she's like, Brian here. Brian had an appointment, so I didn't know if he was going to be able to make it or not. But then all of a sudden, Nicole just disappeared. So I told her I'm going to talk about her. And I know she's listening. We talking about
Hey, you know what's funny? Like, she heard us calling her and she was ignoring. Like, you could always hear somebody in the office yelling your name. Sometimes I miss it because you got to call me by the middle name sometimes to get me to respond. If I don't hear Brian, it don't roll. Something about that Nicholas pitch I could hear because it was always the way of getting my attention when I was younger.
All right, I'll be like, Brian, Nick.
Yeah.
What?
I was hearing that, yeah.
But we want to thank our staff. Hopefully Latoya feels better tomorrow. We got some stuff to talk about. First,
Happy belated birthday to Joe too, by the way.
Oh, Joe, yes, Joe's birthday was yesterday,
Yeah.
and he's taking some time off. I don't know. Before we get into our big discussions about all the political stuff or election stuff, I got a question. So my daughter yesterday asked me, what did I want for Mother's Day? Some people are weird or different and they believe I am not a big gift taker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the one day that I think is a little bit special is your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, and I'm only talking about for me, leave me alone. I remember when she was little, her dad used to take her away and I used to have a whole day to myself. And I was like, I had the best Mother's Day ever. What'd you do? Girl, they made me breakfast. And then he took Jada and they went to the soccer field. And then what? Oh, I watched TV. I laid around. I took a nap. It was that was the best Mother's Day for me.
Yeah.
Some people like presents. Some people like going out to breakfast or brunch or dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So this year she asked me, she's like, Ma, what you want? Now, here's the thing. I have one child. My other child has passed away and she's floating around in heaven, but I only technically gave birth to, one child. But I got about 5 or 6 of her friends that call me mom.
Right.
And they usually give me, presents, call me on my birthday, all this. So I told them this time, I said, all y'all should pitch in between $20 to $50, depending on how much y'all love me, so I can go to a particular concert that I want to go to. And that way, all y'all can love me at the same time, but I get exactly what I want. Now, is that mean?
No, I mean, I think it works out. I mean, as much as they be in your space and at your house.
In my space, in my house, call me when they don't call their own parents when they in trouble. Moms, what do I do? Moms, I got a ticket. Moms, I don't have no money. Moms, I'm hungry. What y'all gotta eat? All that.
Hmm.
So all I'm saying is, okay, if you want to ask me for some, each of y'all give me $50.
I think that's fair.
So, and it's about 9 of them.
Yeah, I
I
only met
could
like two or three.
easily, I could easily get my concert ticket to go see this artist that I want to see. No, it's not a K-pop artist.
I ain't even get to this
It's
time.
in Chicago.
It's,
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
you got the initials of C and a B.
Yeah, I really want to go see Chris Brown.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to going to see him. Actually, I think
Yeah, I
the
want to go
7th. I
see.
think I'm going. I think it's June 7th, if I'm not
Is
mistaken.
that the Friday? Because you will be working at Wisconsin Voices on
Let's
that
go.
Saturday. Remember,
Yeah, but
we
I'll be at the
have
concert.
a no. We have a. We are going to do a booth that we need to do that day.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, it's all night too.
yes.
What?
It's all night. So we are doing. We are gonna start advertising Wisconsin Voices, letting people know what they are. So we're going to some of these conventions
Hmm.
and different things. So we'll be out there with our pamphlets, letting people know, you know, who we are, what we are, if they want to donate, because we really don't talk about donations, but we are a nonprofit.
Yes.
If you feel like you love what we do, go on our page, click the donate button. Even if it's, I have a group of people who donate, they've been donating $1 a week since 2018.
Hmm.
And it's $1 a week. And I get $1 a week from them, and it adds up in the end. So
Yeah.
remember, go to wisconsinvoices.org if you would like to donate and you like what we do. Let's talk about some of the stuff that happened over the weekend or end of last week when we weren't on the show. Let's talk about the shooting that happened in Mount Horeb, where the student who was
Yeah, 8th grader, right?
he was an eighth grader and he was the active shooter,
Mm-hmm.
was shot by the Mount Horeb Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they won't talk about like what he was doing when he was shot, nothing like that. But again, um, I find it interesting that this is an eighth grader who brought a rifle to school, but they still, and he's in the wrong, but they're still kind of protecting him.
Mm-hmm.
Where there is a mentally unstable 10-year-old who shot his mom, but is going to is in
Mm-hmm.
adult court.
Yeah.
um it's so different how our children are treated differently. I got a phone call the other day from a student, from a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and I am on a list of different kids all over Milwaukee. If the parent can't get the hold of the parent, the grandma,
Okay.
I'm
Emergency
the
contact.
last result.
Mm-hmm.
But this one particular kid, his mom teach because he's a boy. His mom teach him, hurry up, go to the bathroom over there by that tree.
Mm-hmm.
He's 5, 4, 5. So that happens. Now, what people don't understand is these kids think when I have to go to the bathroom, I can go to a tree instead of going into the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Most males. So he had to go to the bathroom when he was at school. So he urinated in the wood chips.
Yeah.
And then he went back and played. Now, I blame his mom for this behavior, first of all, because she can't keep telling him, uh, go pee up by the tree.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I found is this is childlike behavior.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with sexual nature or anything like that. But they will place him as a sexual predator at the age of 5 and 6 just because he did a childlike behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this actually when I was on the school board, and it never came to us, but we would hear about situations where, for I know two particular incidences where a little boy was just playing and this little girl's pants was kind of hanging down, and he went and pulled them down, like
Hmm.
not doing it, but to as a thing, just to be joking. Um, Eventually, what happened was the school reported it, or something to that effect. Then he was a a foster child. So then he had the foster parents had to put alarms on the doors. Now remember, he's fourth grade, fifth or fourth K4, K5, something like that.
Hmm.
Had to put alarms on the doors in their home just so he wouldn't go into, because they didn't want him to go into his sister's room and do that.
Wow.
And then eventually they were split,
Hmm.
and he was labeled a pre-sexual offender.
Mm.
Just why is it our little black boys in childlike behavior, or even our little black girls in childlike behavior, dance and doing is always being sexualized?
Yeah. Going back to way back, way, way, way back, they've been sexualizing us before we even were sexualizing ourselves. So now that, I don't know if it's something with, you know, the outside races looking at black people. I don't know if it's, things in society that happen, the way we are viewed through media and music. You do see that a lot, a lot of, and then it's too, what I don't like is that you got young parents that push certain type of behaviors. I remember I was just talking to somebody last week. Keon was telling him like how you be at the house, and I was always kicked out the rooms. I was always kicked out the rooms with my mom and my aunt and my uncles and
When they all got
aunties.
to chatting.
Yeah, and they all got they used to watch these shows on HBO late night in the mid 90s. This was when everybody was still alive. This is the Tupac, the Easy. Everybody was still alive. This is 94, 95, and probably a little bit before that. And they kicked me out the room. Little conversations. It was no sitting. This grown folks. If I even said anything, grown folks conversation, you can see your way out. That was the line I heard all the time. It's
And
grown
as
folks.
you were going, you might have got a pop in the back of the neck, a shoe
Yeah,
thrown.
the
Not that
scolding was
we do
kind of worse.
not want anybody abusing their kids, but this is just stuff that we dealt with.
Yeah, so a lot of parents to me, what I see is they show these behaviors in front of their kids. And I remember seeing it even with some when I used to hang out when I was like Jada's age. I used to go over friends' houses, and they had sisters who were like in their early 30s, and they had kids that was 9, 10, which them kids now are older than Jada. And I used to be at their house, and them kids would be in the rooms with us. We'd be chilling, the conversations, but who am I to say something about something you gonna do anyway, and probably on a worse level with some people that are way more demonic or evil that you're gonna have around your kids versus us over here kicking it, hanging out, drinking. But you doing this on probably times five with other groups of people and those behaviors. Because I remember I was telling my aunt the other day, I remember seeing things that my mom used to have going around, and those behaviors they latch on as you get older, and you subconsciously do things and participate in things that you might have seen from a parent, an uncle, or auntie. So yeah, it starts in the house, but also you're
But
like,
it also started to the point that they tried to hide it too. Now we might have saw it still, but they still tried to hide it.
yeah, they did big time. They did. I
Yeah,
agree.
so I don't even down them for that,
Hmm.
because but then there's a lot of parents now that just do stuff right in
Right
front.
in front.
And then you want to know why these kids are traumatized. Why
Hmm.
are they? Look, I am no expert at parenting. I lucked out with the kid that I got, and I don't even know if she did half the stuff I think she did or didn't do.
I'm just a parenting
I'm just
observer.
yeah, I'm just a parent. So I don't. I mean, she's a relatively good kid. Has never gave me any trouble. I am not the expert on being a parent
You
whatsoever.
did
It
good with
just,
her because she would call and check on me. So look, anytime a youngin calling, checking on me and seeing how I'm doing and being sweet, I appreciate that because there ain't too many thoughtful. I don't know too many thoughtful 20 somethings.
but that's. I mean, they may not have nothing to do with me. It might be just her environment or being able to be at peace with certain people.
Yeah,
It, Parents sometimes can take credit for stuff, and sometimes we want to take credit for all the good stuff, and then when they a hot mess, we
I
want to
don't know
say, oh,
her.
I don't know, that's the. And I do it all the time. When she do something, I'll be like, have to go to her daddy. You know, that's your child over there. That's your child. But let's society has to, like, we have to try to figure out how to help these kids.
Mm-hmm.
We had I was talking to a coworker, not a coworker, a person that's in another organization, and they were having issues with a worker. And I was like, but are we putting them on a pedestal when they've had so much trauma and they're just getting back in society? We talk about how we want to help reentry workers, or we want to help, people get back on their feet, but as soon as they do something that is, or they are triggered by something that we do,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden we want to cast them aside. We scared to get sued, or we don't want. But where is it where we trying to do this work, and then all of a sudden we turn our backs on I always say the less of these, the ones
Yeah.
that we're supposed to be helping. Then we turn the back on them because they are triggered by some kind of trauma that has happened in their past. We talk about we are the state that has the highest incarceration of black men.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? When they come out, when they finish paying their debts to society, who's going to give them that chance if we have and we fighting and saying we shouldn't be, this is something that we should be doing. We should be helping them. But when it's time to help, we judge.
Yeah.
And we kind of that people, we kind of like, we want to fight the good fight, but I don't want to, I don't need to be involved in that. And that is not how I want to run or do Wisconsin Voices. So we're going to, like, I always talk to people and say, look, we'll figure it out. I don't know if like I said, I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong. I'm kind of learning as I grow and as the organization grows. But one thing I have always strived when I took this job, and I'm saying a lot of eyes, which bugs me, but um, my focus when I took this job was to give back to the community that I'm supposed to be serving, not sitting up on a pedestal acting like I'm not doing it. I want to ride or die with the
Mm-hmm.
community that I serve.
Mm-hmm.
And if that means going to there, sometimes I'm just exhausted and I can't do everything. But if it means, trying to find ways to help them fund, we just closed out a RFP where we might be giving, quite a bit of money away to small, or quite a bit of in grants to some of these organizations. We want to keep doing. We work with Keon and his the Village Group to do
Gotcha.
the pantry.
Mm-hmm.
Now the problem was at the time we were helping with the pantry, but we were having a hard time putting the food on it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things we did was started renting a U-Haul for just, a couple hours, even though it bugs me that we have to spend a whole day um doing that. But
Getting that U-Haul.
yeah, getting a U-Haul. We got a caller. Let's see what the caller would like to say. Caller, go ahead.
Let me turn the radio on.
Thank you.
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Shalom to the family. Um, I just heard a comment regarding programs or organizations or mechanisms to help with the challenges, I'll put it that way, in our community, particularly in the Black community. Reentry, the violence that's out here, all these types of things. And, whether it's a mental health issue or whether it's something associated with recreational opportunities for our youth or
Turn your
job
radio
training.
down just a little bit more.
Let me take speaker.
Okay.
So whether it's, can you hear me better now?
Yes, thank
Mhm.
you.
Okay. So whether it's, something related to job training programs or things like that, all of the resources that go into nonprofit, and I'm not knocking nonprofits, but there's a purpose and a need for them, and they do an admirable job. But, when we recognize that the problems are far beyond what the capacity of most of these organizations are, and we're still searching for the answers. I heard the word used, experts, right? So one of the questions I have is, the problem that, as I see it, and I'm not a member of the Nation of Islam, but when we look at the example that has been established by that organization, by that entity, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad over decades of taking men, youth who are at risk or in the system, and then completely turning their lives around to become productive members of their communities. It is tragic that as a state and then as a federal government, that resources cannot be used for entities and organizations like that to do effective work where we know we have results, where we've seen results. And there are other organizations that provide the spiritual model as well. And I personally, I think of this awakening that's taking place with our people as far as, Hebrews, us being Hebrews. And that is my belief. But I will stick to what we see results in right now, because I personally believe that this Hebrew awakening is showing results as well. But the receipts that come from the Nation of Islam over the years, the work that Minister Farrakhan is doing now, and again, the work that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has done, and then prior to him and that organization's history, for us to begin to advocate for our government, where we know they use money in other religious organizations, but they avoid and say, well, we can't put money into that organization because they want to classify it or tie a stigma to it as, anti-Semitic or terrorist, or whatever it is the flag is or the tag is for this year, or under whatever administration is heading up the government, be it state or federal level. And the crime, if you will, is that monies can go into all these other church organizations, Christian church, Catholic church organizations, and the effectiveness is not there, not for our people anyway, because we see over decades that the things that need to be changed and the ability to measure the differences over decades isn't really there from those organizations, because the problem still is at a alarming level, right? And that's one thing that I think our elected officials need to really start advocating for in, bills that will circumvent those discriminatory practices that allow for the government to fund Catholic organizations and other Christian-based organizations, but not the ones that we know have receipts and have been effective for decades. The whole piece on church and state separation, we know that that's a fallacy, because the state puts money where they want to put it, and they do it, behind closed doors, if you will. And so I just thought I'd interject that part, because the thought occurred to me is that we have evidence, we have results, we have receipts from one example in particular. And there are many more who are on that trail or in the same light, sharing the same messages of personal responsibility and the purpose for which I'm going to say the Most High has for the lives of men and women in our community. And yet still it's pushed to the back because they really don't want it to change. The prison industrial complex and the school to prison pipeline and things like that are still tools to create economic development, if you will, for some communities that are not ours. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you for taking my call. Shalom, family.
Thank you for your comments. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come with a comment and then another call. This is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices. Be right back.
Be a voice.
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 Be a
We're gonna else our expert Michelle Bryant a question, but let's take our caller first. They've been waiting a while. Caller, go ahead.
Good morning. And thank you for taking my call.
I'm sorry you
Assalamu
had to
alaikum to
wait
you
so
all.
long.
Alaikum salam. Good morning, brother.
No need for apology, but thank you. It's okay. I understand. That always happens, so I don't let that. That does not bother or unnerve me. I'm okay. Listening to you all and what Brother Craig Stingley just stated is, in my opinion, I should say that is he's right and exact. The primary problem with us as a people all over the world, through the entirety of the world, wherever you find black, hued skin persons, is that we keep going to the very people who have made us into nothing to turn us into something. The Bible says that in the book of Revelation, that the children of Israel had the mark of the beast in their head and in their hands. That's allegorical scripture. The word allegory means imaginary. You have to supply a definition with your imagination when regarding some scriptures. As the Holy Quran says that some scriptures are allegorical and some are decisive. And the decisive scriptures are the ones that you should take into consideration because they're realistic. Our primary problem has been and is we lack the ability to fall into the correct or get on the correct path that would free us overnight. The
Um,
battle for our people is in our head, our minds. You have so many black people being diagnosed with some type of psychosis. And the primary psychosis that has contributed to the other psychosis is the Willie Lynch syndrome, the hatred that has been genetically manufactured into our people. And you have some of our people who are collegiate, as myself. I'm a college graduate. But when I went to college, I had a superior knowledge that did not allow what the Caucasian presented to me to supersede or overwhelm my thinking concerning myself as a black man in a satanic world. I don't know if you understand anything that I'm saying.
well, I hear what you're saying.
You hear, you're not processing.
Excuse me. This is where I always will stop people right off the bat. I am listening to what you're saying. I haven't even responded yet, and you've already told me what my thoughts are. So
No, I
at
didn't. I
that
said you're not
moment,
processing.
but at that moment, you don't know what I'm saying. So I
No,
just
you never said anything. You're
I
now
know
saying
I
something.
haven't said anything because you haven't
Right.
allowed me
So what are you
to.
talking about? It's your show. How can I stop you?
Okay, well, you know what? It's our show. Thank you. We're gonna keep going with the conversation that we are having. Um, what my whole point of having this conversation is talking is the brother previous to this was talking about how monies come in, but that's where elections come in. We are putting people in office to put those bills he wanted in. We need to elect those people. We need to bring those people into the fold. So everything comes back by our power of voting, our power to elect the people that represent us and who our voices are. So it's a different step. He talked about how we can't we should be doing some bills to help with like possibly getting money to the Nation of Islam or different organizations that work directly with black and brown people. But have we put those people in office to do that? Have we voted to put we sit back and we say we want these things to happen, but are we collectively putting our power together?
And I mean, and you also
Oh, this is Michelle, our special guest, Michelle Bryant.
not against it all, trying to like walk out the door.
He was, and I had to bring her back in.
But I mean, you also have to ask, are the organizations putting themselves in position to receive grant dollars, to be a part of the process? Because it goes both ways. If what do I say? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So making sure that people have done the prerequisite things that they need to do as an organization to be considered as a funding partner, a granting partner, because there are organizations that will do that right now. Even if the faces or the folks in office aren't necessarily who we want to see, if you bring to the table what you need, most often you should be able to have access to dollars for community programming that you're trying to do. So I just tell anybody that it goes both ways, because you still got to have something for people to partner with. It's just not enough to say, hey, over here I got a great idea. Is your paperwork in order? Are you
Do you have your 501c3? Do you have even a fiscal agent?
right? What
Do
are
you
we? What are we
what are
doing?
you doing?
Yeah.
So,
Back to we're going to so whether I answer this question or not, I just one thing I can't stand is when people think they know what I'm going to say or how I'm going to say it. Half the time people don't know what I'm thinking. I got issues. My brain thinks differently than everybody else. So I'll say one thing and be completely thinking something else. And until I say it,
that sounds.
yeah, that's just how my brain functions and works. Right. So, well, see, see, I'm trying to be nice.
Oh my God.
So Claire Woodall,
Yes. What's her
Um,
title with
she is
the
the
election
Milwaukee
commission?
Election Commission ex executive director.
Yeah, Paula Gutierrez, who is former legislative liaison. I don't know what other title she held with the Department of Corrections, but she had come from, the city. She had been there
She has
before.
both city and state
Yeah.
positions. I think
hmm
she's had.
And so, but my most recent experience with her had been Department of Corrections. She was our legislative liaison. And then, she left there and went to the city to work with the Elections Commission. But yeah, I have to be real honest. I was blown away to get the news this morning that she is replacing Claire in that role. I am concerned going into perhaps one of the most consequential elections of our recent time, and understanding that everything that's going to take to make the election commission function properly, that because while Claire may be leaving and the rest of the team is staying intact, I don't know. It sounded like some new people are going to be put in place as well. But I think that people definitely ought to be paying attention to what's happening down there and why the mayor, if it was the mayor, because the questions, was this the mayor's decision to remove Claire from that position? And if it was his decision, why was his decision?
At
What?
this time.
Yeah, what was, because you just think about, like, we are literally, this is April, August primaries is 4 months away, and then we go into the big deal in 6 months. Like, why would you make this kind of move if in fact this was his idea and Claire just didn't resign? But normally I think they would have said she resigned.
But
So I don't
here's,
understand.
I do want to read the duties of the executive director
Mhm.
because that is important. It shall be the duties of the election commission executive director to prepare and furnish copies of registration and all books, maps, instructions, and blanks for the use and guidance of inspectors of elections and ballot clerks, and to carry out under the direction of the Board of Election Commission all laws, rules, regulations retaining pertaining to registration and the conduct of elections, and to perform such other and further duties as may be required of him, it says him, by the Board of Election Commissions.
What year was this sexist miswritten of him? How
Oh,
old is this?
well, I'm just saying what it
Does it
says.
say him? It
Yes.
does say him.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to get this changed. Well, I'll have my pic. Can you take a picture of this and send it to me of him?
Yeah.
What kind of sexist? I'm sorry. Go ahead with
But
your point.
um
Sexist nonsense.
but this is where that so we know this is an appointment. So when, and this is those jobs that we talk about where the mayor appoints and he recommends, and then the common council actually approves these appointments. So she will have to be approved. The new deputy will have to be approved, I believe. We have a caller. We have two callers. Caller, go ahead.
Listening to you all, Ms. Bryan, you're present. This is something I was thinking, and I was wondering if you all even take it into consideration when it comes to us as Black people. How can you, on one side of your tongue, say you are some type of revolutionary for Black people when you pander to the very people in some manner, form, or function? You are a panderer to the very people who destroy Black folks.
What do you
The
mean?
very people. I'm
What do you-
sure you understand. But you
No.
if
Give
you,
an example. What do you mean by that?
if you call yourself some type of leader, whether you are elected or self-appointed, you stood up one day and said, "Hey, I'm going to lead Black people to someplace." You don't even know where to lead Black people in the first place. Since you have qualified yourself, or some other people have
So again, can
qualified
you give an
not
example
you,
of what it is you
I'm speaking
mean?
in general.
But
This
no,
is what I
don't
mean.
please don't speak in generalities, because then you do yourself and the listeners a disservice, because you came in and you made a specific allegation.
Here's the
First of
thing, Miss
all,
Bryant.
hang on one second.
Miss
First
Bryant,
of
this is
all,
not your
hang on one
show.
second. First of all, I don't think that anybody called themselves a leader. I don't think that. I mean, we have folks that
Oh,
have
how about
titles and positions,
influencer?
but
How about
and if
influencer?
I don't even use that word,
Miss
particularly not
Bryant,
to
this is not
describe
to
me.
you. You
But I'm just
only, I'm
saying,
not talking
do
about, I
you
don't
have
know
a
you, Miss
specific
Bryant.
example of
Yes,
what it is
if
that's
you
the
would allow me
concern?
to.
Go
If
ahead.
you would
What's
be
the
so
example?
gracious as to allow me to.
I'm waiting. What's the
Miss
example?
Bryant,
What's the
to
example?
the host of the show that I'm speaking to primarily, our people who jump up or they're on the radio and they're speaking these things that, as far as I can see, are inconsistent with progress or productive forward motion when it comes to us. I hear you people talk all the
What
time,
is the
all day
example,
long.
What is
Christopher?
so
Well,
he
let me
wait
talk.
Miss
No,
Bryant,
because
hold on, Miss Bryant.
what's the
He's talking to
example?
me, so I just would like I'll ask him the question. Are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
specifically
That's
talking
proper.
about me?
No, ma'am. I don't
Or
have no idea who you are. I'm speaking in a generalization about our condition as a people. And all you hear is people promoting themselves. They are on the radio. They're sitting in seats and they're saying things to our people that is influencing their actions, that is inconsistent with progress and freedom for our people.
okay,
They're
well, I'm gonna
compromised.
answer this part, and then I'm
And
gonna
thank you
go
for
to the next
allowing me,
call.
ma'am. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
um, we at least for I can only speak for Wisconsin Voices and what we do, but we try to give people a platform to let people in the community know the services that they provide, whether it be mental health, whether it be youth programs, whether it be food service, if it is just financial literacy, whatever it is. We are giving them the platform to say, okay, this is a service that we provide, and you decide if you need it or not. If you want to hook up with them and find out what they're doing, we we give them the opportunity to get their name out there, to give the services that they provide. This is what we're doing. I am never said I was a leader. I said I'm an elected official. I am the leader of Wisconsin Voices, or a co-executive on that stint, and that is all. We're just giving information. Do we have another caller? I think we have another caller, and then we'll go back to this election because this appointment. Caller, go ahead.
This is the Reverend Dr. Andrew Ward.
Hey,
In
Dr.
your
Ward.
last caller, when you're attempting to use logic with an illogical person, your response should be, mm-hmm. Oh,
Yes,
that's
sir.
crazy. Don't go to New York on your way to California with such a person.
Yes,
Another
sir.
thing is, as far as the election go, I heard it suggested if you don't like the person that's elected, run for office yourself. We live in a plutocracy. You can't run for Nathan if you ain't got no money. And the other thing is, I have said many times before, I don't. People say I think I know everything. I don't know everything, but I know what I know from experience.
Mhm.
And
Experience.
I'm available pro bono to share my ideas. I want to get with your organization and with Keon's organization. I have some ideas, and my ideas are based on the basis of our government, money. We don't handle money correctly, and that's on a national level, and then more particularly on black people. It is said that the white people are always trying to rip the black people off of their money. We don't have enough money for the white people, so they're ripping everybody off. Everybody that's ignorant and don't know what's going on. And y'all have a good one.
Thank you, sir. That was we got another call. One more caller. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, I like to say this. When
Yeah.
I was at MHEC, Mr. Ward taught a class for people who were on probation. And he was ineffective when he taught that class. So, Mr. Ward, before you
Oh, let's go on. So this is not who we this is not our show usually. We have, good conversations, and I don't like to censor people. I mean, I may not agree with them, but I don't censor. But let's go back to, are you over this
I'm really not.
Okay.
I'm making sure that I commit the statute of memory so that we can talk to folks about getting that language changed. But okay, but keep going.
So but this is where I was going with this, that we have the city of Milwaukee has decided that Mr. Cavalier Johnson is our mayor, your mayor. Now,
Oh,
and
that's right,
then
because you don't live in Milwaukee.
I
I just wanted
actually-
people to remind people.
why
Because you said your mayor,
Well,
so people might have been like, "Oh, it's not her."
oh, I have
mayor.
issues with my mayor too.
No, I'm just saying, I'm making
just
sure people
saying.
understood that he literally is not your mayor.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
yeah,
because
don't
you know
live-
how somebody, that's your daddy. That's
Yeah,
even though
right.
that's your brother. Okay.
Right.
No, I was
Yeah, you actually don't live in the city of
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
And I usually stay out of things. I'm just talking in generalities where this is the city are the majority of the people have chosen him as your mayor. You have picked your common council. This is where you can influence things like this, where you talk to your common council and say, he has appointed this person. Is that a good spot? Is it a good person to do it? You can ask those questions.
Can we?
You should be able to. Stop playing with me. Why are you laughing? Stop playing with me.
Can we?
We should be
Because
able
by
to.
the time it makes its way to the public, unless it's like major public outcry,
Okay.
a lot of this stuff is a done deal. I mean,
Well, I mean, like Claire was.
Claire ready is go.
Well, right. And then we just found out today.
Exactly.
And I went on the website.
And like, did you read Paula's statement? Like the level of confidence and like, you like
the problem is when I went on the website today to try to see what I was looking for the duties. She was nowhere on the website.
That's what I'm saying.
Like when I went in the election commission, the staff, it didn't say her, it said Paula.
And Paula just real, like I said, and I know Paula, I work with Paula, I like Paula, but this is like, you just got to ask the question, like, what happened? What was the impetus for her being, was she removed? Did she resign? Was she asked to resign? It's just a lot of questions. And
inquiring minds want to know.
So close. You got the August primary. And I don't know what all Paula is capable of doing in relationship to this role. And you think about it, she was one of the most recent hires, I'm thinking, to the department. So were there other people there that could have been considered for that position? Did Paula step
she
over?
Was a deputy. She was the deputy executive director.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying that maybe that was the logic of it all.
Other people get to apply?
So that's what I wanted to know. That is because these are jobs that are appointed, but you have to apply.
Director,
no, the executive director, you have to apply for.
The executive director can appoint the deputy.
Right. They can do that.
Right.
But I'm saying just in general, you go on the website. If you're interested in something, you type your name and your number. I think I counted, and it might be more, but it was 106.
Who else got to apply for the job? I guess is my question.
165. See, you start.
I'm just saying,
you know what? And then now she's gonna leave town. She starts stuff and then she's gonna leave.
It just is funny how stuff happens in a vacuum. You know, Paula sounds all confident, ready to go, like she knew this was coming. And, I got my team. I'm getting ready to pull things out the bag. But it's just like, I'm sorry, because I didn't really see an announcement. And while this is an appointed situation, did anyone else have an opportunity to apply that may have wanted to? Just questions.
It's
21
165,
questions.
165.
21
hold on.
questions.
There's 100. I counted at least 165 different appointments
Yeah.
that is in the city.
Yep.
This is as of today, and I have to read this because these are the vacancies that are there. But I also see a start and a end date, like the 53206 task force. There's 2 vacancies there. But like the Black Male Achievement Advisory Committee, it says their end date was 4/20/2020. Is that still a committee or is it not still a committee? But it's on the vacancy list for the city of Milwaukee. So I'm just trying to figure out, even if we have information, is it accurate? There is a task force for city county carjacking and reckless.
So right here, if you look, there's an asterisk. So it says the asterisk indicates extended term. So for how long was it extended?
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Because all of these have,
because these are 2020
first ones.
And then, but this one, the city county carjacking and reckless driving task force, and it's engineering solution. That's a vacancy on there. What else was there? That assessment board, equal rights commission. This is the one I found. It was 3. There was 3 vacancies on that one.
I don't even think it's that many. I don't remember how many people sit on the actual commission.
Yeah, because I was wait, let me see. What is this? This is the equal
rights commission.
So I have all these, the list of everything.
Chaz.
He's
Chaz Ordonez.
And then I think there was Martha De La Rosa, or Martha Collins was on there for a while. Equal. And I'm looking it up right now because I have the list of all these commissions.
That is funny that there would be 3 vacancies on that, and there is no. Well, it says it runs through the 2026. Yeah,
correct?
2026. Well, that's interesting.
I just find these, and we should look into that.
Some drama when some of the members
Mm-hmm.
left. That I have to go back and kind of think about, but yeah, there was some drama.
The Election Commission, Equal Rights Commission, it should be members, 11 members.
11 members? So there are only 3 vacancies, so 8 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was just wanted to ask you about that election stuff. I didn't mean to keep you for this whole time,
No,
but
that's okay.
Enjoy your vacay.
I hope so.
Did you tell everybody where you're going, or are you gonna wait till you come back?
I tell people I'm going to Athens. Well, I'm going to multiple countries, but I start in Greece, and we'll stop in Turkey and some other places.
Now, remember last time you were here, you went to Africa.
Yeah.
And Keon clowned you because I think, what was that? Was it a giraffe that started running after you?
An elephant.
An elephant. Okay.
No, that's even worse. They don't forget anything. I bet you that elephant remember you.
It charged the Jeep, so I was cool with that.
Okay.
I see your face. And I'm talking to
just...
Debo. Don't say nothing crazy. This ain't my show, so I ain't got time to fight with you.
We got a couple of minutes. We got a couple of minutes.
No, we don't. Don't encourage him. He's not gonna make 59. Not gonna make 59.
He just turned 58.
That's all I'm saying. He's not gonna make 59.
Did you tell him to respect your elders?
Are you taking shots?
No, I'm not.
What?
I am not. Why would I take a shot?
He's 1 year younger than me.
Oh, I was talking the other way around.
Nah, I gotta go.
You know what?
Enjoy your trip.
You know what? I got love for you and Carvey. These two.
I'm gonna stay away from that shootout.
Shots fired.
Yep, shots fired. I knew it.
I did not do it.
Oh, she always got old people jokes. Always.
No, I don't. I'm just trying to. When I grow up, I want to be like Michelle Bryant with all the knowledge and experience that she has. Seriously, though, she has some of the. When we really need to deep dive into something, we always call her in because between her knowledge of like school knowledge, her state knowledge, her community knowledge, we really want to make sure we are accurate in it.
That's true.
Love our listeners, even our callers. Feel free to call again. Today just wasn't a good day for the we real quick, we do want free speech and acknowledgement of what's going on. We do not want to take personal pop shots at anybody. Let's just tell our truth, because it's
Mhm.
our truths, and my truth might be different from yours. But let's respect everyone. We are Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, Brian.
Bye, Tamika.